Thank you so much.
Did you prepare that ahead of time?
Oh my God, that was so beautiful.
Really? You would?
Yes, I would. I would.
For me?
You sound amazing.
Henry.
That was so sweet.
How about a little more, Dougie?
Teach my kids.
Wow. Wow. Oh, Doug.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Boom, boom, boom.
Princeton.
Yes, we know the feeling. A few fans of our beloved FLOTUS got the surprise of their lives when First Lady Michelle Obama joined Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show to give out some of her signature hugs in person. And no account of the Obama era would be complete without a look back at this extraordinary First Lady who is leaving a lasting legacy in her own right. And joining me now, Karine Jean-Pierre, who is back with me, and also joining me, Michelle Bernard, president of the Bernard Center for Women, Politics and Public Policy. Teray, host of the Love City podcast with Teray on How, and April Ryan is also back. And I need to just let the camera note that we are all arrayed in the same color this morning. Okay, so April didn't get to be here, so she didn't get the memo. But yes, we are arrayed, honey, in the right colors.
All right.
This is our FLOTUS colors this morning. But I'm going to come to you first on this, April. I wish you were here, my friend. What do you think is the biggest legacy of Michelle Obama?
Well, number one, that you had a first lady who basically had bigger numbers as far as polling numbers than her husband at some points. The fact that she brought an era of realness into the White House. She was a real mother with real children going to school, needing her mother's help. I mean, many of us, particularly many of us in the African-American community, we look to our parents and look to our aunts and whoever to keep our children while we're doing the work of the day. She also taught us about being healthy. I mean, we're looking at the labels now. Look, not just the clothes labels, but looking at the labels on the back of food. We're moving. She's taught us so much about that, and she's also reached out to our military. And she's talked about it felt like being a single mother at times, and how many of these military families are the mothers particularly are by themselves while their husbands or their spouses are out in the field working for this country, for our democracy. So she's brought so much to the table, and you just can't say it in one or two words.
Yeah, and you know, also she's brought relationship goals into the White House. Let's listen to President Obama talking about his wife. And everybody broke down crying once he said this part of his speech on Tuesday. Take a listen.
You took on a role you didn't ask for, and you made it your own, with grace and with grit and with style and good humor.
Teray, my friend, that put pressure on every man in America.
No, it really
Incredible
did.
pressure.
And the notion of these date nights that they were constantly going on, these elaborate trips to New York City with a play and a nice dinner, that put a lot of pressure on the men in America that we got to step up to what Barack and Michelle are doing. But I think about the grace, class, and dignity that Michelle Obama brought to the office as well. All the joie de vivre you saw, Dancing with Ellen, these other sort of folks, behind that, backed up, she's an attorney, right? And a very successful attorney. So you know that she's a very intelligent, professional woman who has put that aside for her family, but could go back to that at any time. So all the things that you saw, the dancing and the fun and whatever, is backed up by this serious educational background, this serious intellect. I love that about her. But then when you read into what happened in these campaigns, and we know that she did not really want Barack to go into all this, but once he did, she was all in, and she was just as competitive as he was. And if something happened in the campaign that she didn't like, she would go down and tell Axelrod and Plouffe and them in choice words, this is what we want to happen. We're here to win this thing, and this is what we need to do to accomplish that. And, you know, in hip-hop, they talk about a ride or die chick. This is 100% a ride or die first lady.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And for all of it you said, Teray, I have to come to the table here, and she does get known, even though she is an attorney and she's as incredibly accomplished. She made more money than Barack Barack Obama most of their sort of life together before he got in the White House and got that $400K. She really is still known a lot for fashion and for bringing fashion into the White House in a really interesting way, because she also elevated designers of color.
Yes.
So it wasn't just being stylish. She actually, like people like Tracy Reese, people like, I'm just forgetting the name of the gentleman, Jason Wu.
Yes.
Jason Wu,
Yes.
who made her beautiful dress for the inaugural, but also this final dress she wore. And the New York Times has written Saturday how clothes defined Michelle Obama, that she didn't just see it as part of a uniform. She actually saw it as an opportunity to amplify her husband's ideals. But what is your, I know that you have great stories,
Yes.
and I want you to tell your favorite one, Michelle.
One of my favorites is in 2009, right after the president was inaugurated, I took my kids to Christmas in Washington, and my daughter Avery was an elf. She was very young and very irritated by the fact that I was, always here at MSNBC.
Right.
So she walks over to the president and she says, I watch you on TV with my mom, and all you do is talk and talk and talk and talk. And Michelle Obama kneels down, the president kneels down, and they are just laughing, and it's infectious, and it's so normal, no pretense, and she brought a sense of normalcy to the White House. And I just want to share one other anecdote. I was on the telephone this morning with a friend of mine. Most people now know her as Angela Acree. It's her married name. I know her as Angela Kennedy. She and Michelle Obama were roommates at Princeton.
Yeah.
And back in 2009, Angela was interviewed by the Washington Post, and they asked her, what kind of first lady is Michelle Obama going to be? And she basically said she is going to make the White House the people's house.
Oh.
She is going to, focus on education.
Yeah.
And Angela's initials, AA. She frequently gets butt dialed. She tells me the day after the election, Michelle Obama, I won't say butt dial, accidentally dials Angela's phone number, and Angela listens in, and Michelle Obama and Barack Obama were at their daughter's parent-teacher conference.
Oh, I love it.
And she can hear on the phone, they're making jokes, they're talking about how small the chairs are. Michelle Obama is a tall woman, as is the president. Complete normalcy.
Yeah.
Nothing but a focus the day after his historic election, but their children's education.
Absolutely.
That's the legacy.
And I think we were showing the picture of Avery. We can put that back up. But Karine, I know you also have the little people. You have a little tiny baby.
Yes, I do.
And so you have baby stories with the White House too. But tell me what you think is the biggest legacy for Michelle.
So two things I wanted to say. The first thing is they were equal partners, right? The most celebrated 21st century couple. That's what we saw. That's what they gave us. And I was really going to say what you said too, which is they made it the people's house. I think there's one legacy that she really has that I wanted to talk about is the childhood obesity.
Yeah.
Trying to bring nutrition into schools. Now, on the surface, you would think that is a suburban soccer mom issue. Sure. But if you unwrap it and really open it up, it really deals with food deserts, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And the junk food marketing that we see to kids in low-income brown and black communities.
And food deserts.
And food deserts, right? I'm sorry, I said food deserts. and so I thought that was such an amazing thing that she took on, and she actually made a difference.
Yeah.
She changed how kids were being fed in schools.
And her husband.
And her husband.
And the
Right,
first
and her
state to
husband.
sign on to the Let's Move initiative, Mississippi. She convinced the government of Mississippi, the conservative Republican government, or state government in Mississippi, to be the first to sign on. Thank you to Karine Jean-Pierre, Michelle Ture, and April. We'll be back. Can we go out, producers, on Michelle Obama doing her, her final address, cut one? Do you mind if we do that? I don't mean to change it, because next hour we are going to talk Donald Trump versus the press, and we are going to have Jennifer Holliday. She will be here to tell us why she dropped out of the president's inauguration. We have more AM Joy coming up after the break. Would love it if you guys played that cut. Sorry to change everything. We'll be right back.
So don't be afraid. You hear me? Young people, don't be afraid. Be focused. Be determined. Be hopeful. Be empowered. And know that I will be with you, rooting for you and working to support you for the rest of my life. Being your first lady has been the greatest honor of my life. And I hope I've made you proud.